Hello everyone, welcome to Rashid Matselele Connect, and here we discuss some of the issues that are affecting society. Today we are going to be looking at university education and the artificial intelligence revolution. Nowadays we see that when students are graduating, I've seen that some of them are putting on their gowns that logo of ChatGPT, and we have had cases of lecturers discouraging students from using AI, and those worries about the future of education research with the coming of AI, worries about our critical thinking, how it will be affected by AI. Now on the set, I have an educational expert, Mr. Kyazze Godfery, who is an educational expert as well as a homeschooling dad. Currently, he is doing his PhD in education. So he's a PhD candidate. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great to have you.
Good to be here with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are now in the AI
Yeah.
revolution.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yes.
AI in business, AI in education.
Yes.
I want us to look at the issue of university education in this era of AI. Recently, I was telling you that I met a university student and I asked her that how are studies, and she says studies are okay, especially nowadays we have ChatGPT. When they give you coursework, you just put in the question and ChatGPT will give you. Now, of course, this has created worries. Is AI a threat to our educational system, especially at university? What do you think?
I wouldn't want to say AI is a threat. I think when someone says it's a threat, it depends on the perspective where they are coming from.
Okay.
I see teachers threatened in the sense that if you give an assessment and the learner does not do the assessment as you wanted by themselves, but they use a tool or a machine, meaning that AI is the one which has done their assessment or their exam for them, they've not done it, it becomes a challenge, a problem to you as a teacher.
Okay.
Because it becomes a problem for you. You cannot assess where the learner has reached. Your goal and objective was to assess the learner to see, are they able to think? Are they able to do this? Are they able to achieve? Have they achieved the objective which you set before you taught them? It will be a threat in that sense. But I think for both of us, the teachers and the learners and the parents and the governments, all stakeholders, I would want us to look at AI for what it is. AI is not a person. That's why we call it artificial. It's artificial intelligence. AI does not, I would actually want to say, does not think. What we call thinking by AI, by artificial intelligence, we put it in quotes. It doesn't think on its own. There is an old saying about computers that we need not to forget. The saying is that garbage in, garbage out. That's how computers operate, even AI. It does not do what has not been programmed into it.
Okay.
Now, students, human beings, just like students are, we are not programmed like that, like machines. Human beings are thinking beings. Thinking is one of the work we do as human beings. And in academics or in education, I think our efforts, everything we are trying to do as educators, we are operating in the realm of promoting, enhancing, encouraging, and challenging, and giving learners the opportunity to think. Now, AI, we need to look at it as a tool. Now, we've always had tools. And with the world we are in, by this time, we should be familiar with the fact that tools keep advancing. I mean, we can talk about things as basic as a hand hoe,
Yes.
which people use to dig. Today we know it here as a tool people use when they are digging. I think most of our villages, people still use that hand hoe. But that's a new technology as well. In history, before the Iron Revolution, people used sticks to dig, to scratch the ground, and so they cultivate whatever they want to cultivate. And there came an advancement in technology from sticks to the Stone Age. And during the Stone Age, they had to manufacture hoes or tools they can use, including hoes, which were made out of stone. And that was far advanced compared to a stick. If you had two people, one is using a stick, another one is using a stone tool, the other one using a stone tool would be far advanced. And the key thing is their productivity would be so different. Same thing with the Iron Age. When the Iron Age came, we started having now iron hoes, hand hoes which are made out of iron. A hand hoe, which up to now is being used here in Africa, it's a far advanced tool compared to the stick and to the stone. But still, even here in Africa, we know people who are no longer using a hand hoe. People who are using tractors.
Yeah.
We talk of the Western world where people are using combine harvesters in their farming, in their agriculture. Now, you cannot compare someone who uses the combine harvester with the one who uses the basket when they are harvesting their crops. The two, their productivity is so different. Now, AI is a tool in education. It's going to be a tool in academics. It's a tool that helps us with the work of thinking.
Okay.
Just like in digging, we use our hands. And when you use a combine harvester, you're not going to use your hands. Now, I want us to go back to the time when let's say, combine harvesters came or tractors came to be used in agriculture. What we are saying today what teachers are saying today that AI is a threat, I want to relate it to what the farmers possibly said back then when combine harvesters came or tractors. I think their complaint would be, oh, these people are a threat to test the strength of our people.
And I think there would have been some worries that we are going to lose jobs because sometime those days, maybe cultivating an acre of land, you needed like
hundreds
of people to do the work.
Yes.
But a combine harvester does.
You just need one machine, and you work hectares and hectares of land. So yes, there would be threat like, okay, we are going to lose jobs, but also you could say, we are not going to test how strong someone is, because for us, we want to, by then maybe people tested excellence or efficiency in how much strength we use.
How much hours do you spend on the
farm?
On the farm.
Oh, this one spends 10 hours. Oh, you are a great person. This one who spends 2 hours is nothing. I think we need to change that mentality. Tools are never our enemies.
Okay, now, teacher, you talked about assessment by lecturers.
Yes.
At university and, of course, educational institutions.
Yeah.
Our mode of assessment is that at universities, you're always given a coursework.
Yeah.
And then you have to go and do research.
Yes.
And then bring back and hand in.
Yeah.
In most universities, I think that's what, maybe with those practical courses whereby you have to, but even practicals, you have to go home.
Yeah.
Literally, it's like a homework, I think.
Yes, yes.
Then, of course, the tests.
Yes.
Do you think the mode of assessment should be now changed? And how should we now adjust to ensure that we use AI, but at the same time, the mode of assessment is in line
Yeah.
with the AI era?
I think the educators we have today, they need to up their game. For me, my problem is not with students using AI. My problem or my challenge goes to teachers, to lecturers, to educators out there to up our game. When we do assess learners, we need to ask ourselves, what's the purpose of assessment? In assessing a learner, I want to test whether you've achieved the objective I set before I started taking you through this class or this program. Now, we need to improve our objectives. You check and see, are your objectives the kind that even AI can do? Then you are out of job. Can we begin to up our game in that the objectives we set when we are teaching anything are the objectives that are going to assess higher order thinking, which requires the practicality or the application of the learner himself putting in what they are supposed to put in. Because at the end of the day, what are we trying to achieve when we are teaching these students? What we want to achieve is not something that ends in the classroom. We are preparing people who are going to be relevant in society tomorrow. The students who are entering university today, or let me say in primary school today, the ones who are entering right now,
Yes.
give them about 17 years or 20 years from now. That's when they are going to be in the world operating. So 20 years from now, which year are we talking about? If this is 2025, we're talking about 2045. AI or information technology is going to have, it shall have taken over in many areas. That what we need today is to prepare these learners for the world of 2040.
How?
How do we do that?
Yes.
What AI does is to think. It is a tool that has come to ease or to enhance your thinking, to facilitate it. Instead of spending a lot of time, let me go back to the example of a stick and a combine harvester. Instead of spending and wasting a lot of time just scratching your soil here, that's something it will take you weeks and months and years to only cultivate a small acre of land. They are telling you a combine harvester has come that you will do hectares and hectares in just 2 hours. That's what AI has come to do. So our assessment and our teaching of the learners should be the kind that is preparing them now for what we call in education higher order thinking. Things like doing projects, teaching them to debate, teaching them the paradigms and the worldviews from which they should discuss and engage with ideas. Without our assessment looking at such a level, when we keep thinking, training students to simply recall information, that's no longer a skill that you're teaching a learner to recall information. Because the reality is, no human beings can recall everything that they hear in the classroom.
And especially when you talk about the recalling things, basically our education system is all about.
That's where we are
recall.
left. At that level of simply teaching kids to recall. We should be far advanced beyond recalling, remembering facts. Why do you have to remember facts when you have a phone in your hands? Why do we carry these phones in our hands? To keep records so that we don't burden our heads to recall this information. Anytime you want something, I'll quickly check here and I get it. But let's include in our education, what are the values upon which the debates that are shaping the world we are in are based on? Let's engage in those values. What makes this valuable? What makes the other not valuable? Why do you think capitalism is good and communism is bad? Or the other way around? How do we judge these ideas? What is the standard upon which we should judge these ideas? Because AI is not God. It doesn't give us an idea. AI doesn't generate ideas. AI only helps you to, it keeps this information, huge information that cannot be kept in your small head, and then it gives you that information right at your fingertips to work with it. For me, actually, I want to contend, we must find ways of how do we encourage these students to use AI and work with it, because it's the tool they are going to work with tomorrow.
Actually, the view is that, of course, there are some lecturers who are objective about AI.
Yep.
Actually, they will tell you use AI, and they will tell you how to use it.
Yes.
Personally, I use AI
Mm-hmm.
in research and other things.
Yep.
But there are those lecturers who are really demonizing it.
Yes.
And creating that thinking that we are dead if AI is going to take over everything.
Yes.
Especially the issue of critical thinking, that we can no longer think by ourselves. And of course, there are those also who don't care.
Yeah.
Whether a student has gone to AI and generated that information, pasted it, they will mark and the student will go.
Yes.
So how can we address such challenges?
I'll give an example of last week. I teach, I lecture, and I have students I teach. And I give an example of an assessment I gave last week. I wanted them to research. Now, if you're going to research, the objective right there, I wanted them to research on a topic. Now, the tools you're going to use are not the problem. The information you're gathering is what I want. Are you able to go and collect information? Now, AI is one of the tools which can help you look for information very fast, which you couldn't have done without AI. It would have taken you weeks and weeks of getting this information. Now you can get it very fast, and you have it on your fingertips. Now, after they had done the research, I'd given them to do the research and gather the information, they were going to present this information. They present it a certain way that I want them to present it. But I told them, I want this assessment, part of the assessment was, I want it handwritten. Meaning, the moment you get it from AI or wherever you've gotten it from, I don't want you to just copy and paste. But even if you copy it and rewrite it handwritten, it is still getting in your brains, in your head as you're copying it, because I wanted it handwritten. After that was just part of the assessment. And after handwriting it and presenting it to me and I looked through it, the next part of the same assessment, I wanted you to present this information before your class and we discuss. And how would you present it? I would make sure you give me an outline of the same points you have handwritten. Now I want simply an outline. And I had to look at your outline before you took the podium to discuss. So they each gave me the outline, I approved it, then you stand on the podium and discuss and debate. And I was making sure I see what you gave me handwritten in the essay. Is it what you are able to articulate before the rest without just reading it? What was I aiming at? Is to make sure, because I'm mindful, you could use AI as a tool to gather the information. But as you gather this information, do you internalize it to the point that you are able to present it before others? They used the AI, and I couldn't deny it. But I was able to tell who has used this AI appropriately and who has not used it appropriately. If what you present before us here does not correlate with what you wrote, then there is a problem. We need to work on that. So I think as educators, this should simply give us, there's again another old saying that a bad workman
blames his tools.
The tools are not to blame and never to blame. Never blame a tool. AI is a tool. It is the workman who usually wants to find ways of blaming the tool. You're supposed to know your skill. If you don't know the skill, it doesn't matter the tool they put in your hand. We must teach students and our learners how to think, how to debate, how to discuss, how to analyze ideas. They will actually analyze even AI, because AI is not perfect. Many times it will give you information that is not right. But it's upon you and your ability to analyze, to be analytical, that you will judge even AI as a tool.
Let's talk about research,
Yeah.
dissertation, and thesis.
Yes.
We know that now, as I speak, there are tools whereby you can put in a command in AI.
Yeah.
It will even give you the citation.
Yes, it can do that.
It can do that. And somebody can just copy and put in the research
Yes.
thesis
Yes.
and submit.
Yes.
Should we continue now trusting our thesis that we are doing at university? And
so in a research work, I think the biggest part of research is to gather the data, to gather the information. As long as AI is not going to get the information for you, the raw primary information on a topic, you have to go to the field, collect the information as you found it in the field with all honesty and integrity. Now, once that information has been collected, where AI is going to help you is in, actually, once you have got that information, the biggest thing we want in any dissertation is in, not just in the, it is in analyzing this data that you've collected. Analyzing it, evaluating it for it to answer the questions that we have at the end of the day, which questions are actually responding to real world problems.
And AI can do that?
No, the point is, what is the problem we have in our society? Potholes in Kampala. We want to fix potholes in Kampala. So go car out. When you give me a dissertation and a report, you're saying, from the information we've gathered, this is how we can fix potholes in Kampala. Now, the test is going to be, are potholes fixed or they are not fixed? Real world problems being solved, not only in the information you give us that you simply tell or read. So we'll test it. Any dissertation is a report that purports that this is the truth we have gathered from the ground, and here is how it works. When we put the dissertation or the recommendation you've made to the test, and they don't work, it has nothing to do with how brilliant, how well organized your thesis was.
Okay.
We need, I think, my challenge is to educators again, when we do dissertations and research, many times we've done dissertations and the goal is how nicely you have made a report. It's not about how nicely we've made a report. That's why so many research dissertations have cobwebs in university archives. They are not of any help. What use is a dissertation that is not going to fix a problem?
Maybe, can you elaborate more on how we can put such research on test?
On test. Okay. Before you carry out any research,
yes,
we all know about what we call the scientific process. It has about 6 questions. Any research begins with a problem. So in your research, what's the problem you are trying to fix? What's the question you are trying to respond to? And since it's a question, the end of the research work is a solution. And the solution is tested to ensure, does it work or it doesn't work? If your solution doesn't work, it doesn't matter what tools you used. Everything falls different tools. Even when you're writing your research report, you use a pen, you use a paper, you use cameras, we use all kinds of tools. AI, thank God, is one of the tools that have come, that are now on our fingertips. Can it help us to find solutions? It will help us. How will it help us? It is going to make the work faster. One of the things I keep emphasizing when I saw AI, for me, when it came, thinking is hard work, Rashid. To think is a lot of hard work, sometimes harder than making bricks. Now, a man who makes bricks, doesn't he need a machine that can facilitate that process of making bricks so that he does it efficiently? He needs a tool where maybe he'll just press the button and the bricks are made. He'll still make the bricks. What we need are bricks which are made and are made well. Here, in research, in education, the young people we are raising in our schools, in our education, are world problem solvers of tomorrow. We want problems of tomorrow to be solved. Let's teach them to solve real world problems. I think what AI is challenging educators is to stop teaching things that are irrelevant. Let's teach things that are relevant, that are touching real world issues. And the real world issues today are being fixed by information technology.
If you look at the Uganda curriculum now,
yes,
education in terms of our curriculum, do you think it addresses these issues?
Not yet. Yet, in the new curriculum, especially for O-level, the one which has been revised, it's very good. It, among the proposals and the suggestions, is encouraging educators to use technology, information technology. They are what we call the 21st century skills. Among those is IT, and it's emphasized. The question is if teachers have been readied or prepared to prepare the learners. If the teachers who are being told in their curriculum that encourage young people to use technology, for me again, the blame, or the not a blame, my challenge is to educators, we need to up our game. AI has come, it is here to stay. It's
How
not
can the
going
government
anywhere.
help the teachers to up their game?
Training them, because part of the thing, teachers have to be trained, but when you're training them, you have to avail the resources. I'm a teacher trainer, so sometimes I do professional teacher development where I go up country places and I teach and train teachers in improving what they are doing and doing different things. But I want to tell you, in this day and age, 21st century, I meet teachers, and after making a presentation on something and I want to share with them this information, I ask for their emails so that I can give them this information. But there are teachers who will tell you, I don't have an email address. So if a teacher today, you have no email address, it means you've never punched a keyboard. Such teachers, their learners who they are teaching are already way ahead of them. So if government is to do something, we need to improve and transform teacher education first. Teacher education, teachers need to be prepared. And one way to prepare them, let's introduce the such tools to them. And if we are talking about improving teacher education, it means the teacher training programs, beginning with universities like Makerere, going to the education faculty and all the education faculties in every university, colleges other than universities, wherever they are, they have to be facilitated. You cannot talk about IT to a teacher, to a school where they only have one desktop that has no even internet access.
Actually, there are some institutions which are still training students on typewriters.
Yes.
I've seen.
Even schools, they still think for you to set exams, you have to typeset them on a typewriter. No. So where there is such a problem, computers in this country, I hear if you bring computers in the country, the claim is that if they are old computers, they have to be taxed. So we need to improve and provide an environment where technology is accessible to educators, for education, by students, and train them to use it.
Now, lastly, as we conclude, as students, especially at the university, maybe try to tell them how AI will affect them negatively, especially after university. Because it's very possible somebody to use AI and get a first class. And where AI will benefit them.
I think one part of the problem we have in our education system, and this goes to both educators but also the learners. Good thing we are talking to university students who I presume to be adults. They are no longer children, you are mature people. That's what I want to presume. The challenge we've had is an education that is examination oriented. Sometimes I say I hate exams because exams have a tendency of bewitching us. That's the language I will use, of determining everything we do in our teaching and learning. We do it to what end? To the exam point. And beyond that, we don't prepare. It's like marriages. I always sympathize with young people who prepare for a wedding and they don't do anything to prepare for marriage. You know, the two things are different. You had a wedding.
Yes. For us, even just a few minutes, because the moment they announce in the mosque, husband and wife, it's immediately done. There you can even carry your wife and take home.
So a few hours, a few seconds, that was the wedding. How many years are you married?
And now 4.
4 years. I've been married 17 years, but my wedding took about maybe 4 hours. So if I did everything to prepare just for a wedding, the 4 hours came and went. 17 years I'm married and I'm not about to give up because the vows we made are for life. Till death does us part. Now, education will prepare you for life. We are not preparing you for the exam. Yes, you could pass the exam and you get an A, but we are waiting for you in the field. Are you able to deliver still? Which is a problem. I actually would listen to people who are proposing, maybe we may need to do away with some of these exams because they are a problem. They are a hindrance for us to teach. People just want to cross that examination line and they don't care what happens beyond that. But you put this in your head that as you use AI as a student, use it for your benefit. Use it to learn a skill. Use it to get the information that actually you need, not the information you want to give to the teacher and you impress them. Because you impress them for this moment, life, you're not going to impress it like that. Life requires you to deliver, to be genuine, to be honest. Those are the life skills that we need to develop in our people. Because if you're not genuine, you're not honest, even in your research, you're carrying out research and then you're faking the data. Once it's faked, it won't work. It won't deliver. So I tell that's the honest truth I tell my students, that I know you can use this tool to get this, but this is what I'm aiming at. Can you make sure you have achieved that objective? At university, before we teach any class, any course, we give the learners, we share with them the outcomes and the objectives, so that as we move in this program, we are all in agreement. This is where we want to go. And even at the end of the course, you can assess yourself, even if you don't wait for the teacher to assess you and say, these were the outcomes. Have I achieved them? Am I able to gather information? Am I able to discuss this such and such a question? Am I able to analyze such and such an issue? Assess yourself. Because at the end of the day, for us, we're waiting for you in the field. If you come to the field, yes, you give us your papers. The papers can usher you into the job. You get the job. But after you get the job, your promotion, your demotion, your evaluation, your everything, even for you to be fired, will depend on your performance, not on the paper. Once you put there the papers and we file them that you've gotten a position, no one will look at them again when you are going through the disciplinary committee. They won't matter anymore. Actually, there's a study which was done by Harvard University, and it found out that 15%, only 15%, is what these academics contribute to our life, to our success in life. The 85%, they called it interpersonal relations and skills.
Soft skills.
Those other soft skills, which most times we don't pay attention to.
You talked about exams, and really, the hardest part of my life is when I'm going to have an exam. Yep. But I enjoy reading. Yeah. If I'm alone, I can read a lot of things. But when it comes to exams,
yes.
And currently I'm doing a research about the effect of social media on reading culture.
Yeah.
I think perhaps time will come and then we have also a discussion on that.
Yeah.
Partly, I think examination has been that aspect which has demoralized our reading culture.
Yes.
Because you find here that whenever a student finishes exams, some of us, we even burn the books. We celebrate, oh, okusoma kuwedde,
Yes.
we jump and we don't even once again want to hear
Yes.
about books.
Because we have been told the value of reading is to pass exams. That is so minimal a goal to pursue. It doesn't motivate you enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Teacher
you so
Kyazze.
much too. Pleasure being here.
Thank you. This is the Rashid Matselele Connect, and my guest has been Teacher Kyazze, an education expert. We have discussed issues surrounding AI. I hope this program was beneficial. Please don't forget to like. We also want to hear your feedback. Just go down in the comment box and ask any question, or you can give a compliment on this program. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. My name is Nahoho Rashid Matselele. We meet again in another episode.